Welcome to this edition of Indago ResearchCast, where we highlight findings from our Indago supply chain research community. In his book, Have a Little Faith, Mitch Albom shares the following story from a sermon given by Rabbi Albert Lewis in 1975. A man seeks employment on a farm. He hands his letter of recommendation to his new employer. It reads simply, "He sleeps in a storm." The owner is desperate for help, so he hires the man. Several weeks pass, and suddenly, in the middle of the night, a powerful storm rips through the valley. Awakened by the swirling rain and howling wind, the owner leaps out of bed. He calls for his new hired hand, but the man is sleeping soundly. So he dashes off to the barn. He sees, to his amazement, that the animals are secure with plenty of feed. He runs out to the field. He sees the bales of wheat have been bound and are wrapped in tarpaulins. He races to the silo. The doors are latched and the grain is dry. And then he understands. He sleeps in a storm. The moral of the story, as Rabbi Lewis states at the end of his sermon, is that if you're proactive about taking care of the important things in life, then, quote, our lives will not be cursed with the aching throb of unfulfilled business. This sermon got me thinking, if the person in this story had been hired as a supply chain executive, what proactive actions would they have taken to be able to sleep through a supply chain storm like the one we've been experiencing the past 2 years? In other words, what unfulfilled business would they have taken care of? In a recent Talk and Logistics blog post, I shared 4 recommended actions. Here is the first one. Map your supply chain. A key component of supply chain risk management is supply chain mapping. That is, knowing where the manufacturing facilities of your suppliers and their suppliers are physically located and which parts or materials are manufactured at each location. In March 2020, we asked members of our Indago supply chain research community, who are all supply chain logistics executives from manufacturing, retail, and distribution companies, about their supply chain mapping experience and capabilities. As this chart shows, our members have the most visibility to the physical locations of their Tier 1 supplier facilities, with 91% saying they know where all or most of them are located. In contrast, only 17% say they know where all or most of their Tier 3 supplier facilities are located. Similarly, when it comes to knowing which parts or materials are produced at each supplier facility, the best visibility is with Tier 1 suppliers. 61% know what is produced at all Tier 1 facilities, compared to just 9% that know what is produced at all Tier 3 facilities. So ask yourself these questions. Do you know where the manufacturing facilities of your suppliers and their suppliers are physically located, and which parts are manufactured at each location? Do you track the history and frequency of disruptions that occur at each facility and geographic regions due to either natural forces such as hurricanes, floods, and earthquakes, or other factors such as labor strikes, power outages, and quality issues? If your answer is no to most of these questions, then it's only a question of time before you get blindsided by a supply chain issue or other disruption. Start mapping your supply chain today, or be prepared to pay a big price down the road. For the other 3 recommendations and additional data and insights from our Indago research community, please read How to Sleep in a Supply Chain Storm, the blog post on Talk and Logistics. And if you're a supply chain logistics professional from a manufacturing, retail, or distribution company, we invite you to join our Indago research community. It's free, confidential, the time commitment is less than 4 minutes per week, and the best part, your participation benefits a variety of charities. To learn more and apply, please visit joinindago.com. Thank you for watching this Indago ResearchCast.